You gotta be extremely proud to be a Turks and Caicos Islander. Very extremely proud. Obviously we're in an independent nation, but being a Turks and Caicos Islander, growing up there, you understand what it is to be home, how things are home.
Welcome to Pushing Your Peers podcast, the #1 podcast in the region for living a progressive and happier life. What happens when a generation begins to lose touch with the sound of its own culture? On this episode, we are joined by Cambrell Cayley, a passionate Turks and Caicos musician dedicated to preserving and reviving local music. We discuss his musical journey, the importance of teaching our culture to the next generation, and the vision for creating more opportunities for local artists. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you never miss an episode. Sit back, relax, and let's get ready to push some peers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Cambrell Cayley on Pushing Your Peers podcast. I've been following this young man on social media for quite some time now, and I am thoroughly impressed with the content he puts out. He's always pushing cultural music, whether it's Bahamian songs, local songs. I admire that. He's one of the people, the young persons, who's keeping the culture, the music culture of this country alive. And I want to applaud you for being one of the ambassadors for this country in regards to music, Cambrell. You are doing a fantastic job. Now, tell us, how did you get into music?
Well, I grew up watching my father and my uncles playing instruments, and just growing up in Turks in general, just seeing and hearing different kinds of music and just being interested in it. Initially, when I was younger, I always wanted a drum set. After this day, I never had a drum set for myself. My first actual instrument was a guitar, so stick to that. But I attribute it to mostly seeing my father and my uncles playing, and just listen to music growing up in the islands. But specifically, I could say I chose guitar because I got to give it up to the late great Keno Hall and his brother Ruben Hall. Just listening to their music, knowing where they come from, because my family from Grand Talk, they grew up in Grand Talk and Wolverback, and knowing about them and just hearing how they put music together. It's like, yo, I told myself from a young age, I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be able to play the guitar, make them kind of sounds from young. Yeah. So just growing up, seeing all of the guys older than me playing music, seeing my family playing music and things like that. And I can tell you this, I say I got uncles and cousins who play music instruments, right? But I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in my family who plays guitar. Other than my father, I'm the only person who plays guitar. So even though I watched them playing brass bands, playing church, but I'm the only one who pick up guitar and say, let me, make this my thing.
All right, let's talk about that. First and foremost, do you mind telling us who your father is? Because TI people, we always say, who ma's your pa?
If you know Mr. Wilbur Cayley?
Yes, sir.
I'm his youngest child.
Okay, all right. Shout out Mr. Cayley. I even know Mr. Cayley used to play the guitar. So I learned something new right now.
He told me one time I better than him, so I kind of accept it, but that's what he say.
Well, if the old man say that, they gotta be something to it. But I mean, I've been watching your content, man. I know nothing but music instruments, but from what I hear, you on point. I remember one time, I think it was Casey Brooks. He was critiquing something that you were doing. I'm like, yo, I really love this because he's a veteran in the game and he's actually giving you advice on how to do things. And, tell us about the music scene here. You've been around legends like Cass and Keno. Who else did you look up to while you were pursuing your career in music?
One name that comes to mind, I'm sure everybody know this guy, Mr. Quentin Dean. That guy, that's the essence of greatness to me. Honestly, it's just the way he plays guitar, and you could tell like that he work on his craft and he does some things that you don't necessarily hear from our type of music and things like that. But the way he incorporates like different styles of music into playing like rake and scrape, because sometimes he doesn't necessarily play the band anymore, but when he plays with some of the bands back home, like he just incorporates different kind of rhythms with his playing. And I gotta say, I look up to him when it comes to like understanding guitar more and just musicianship in total, because you could tell the way he plays, that's some strict discipline he got going on there. Like that don't happen overnight.
I've heard go ahead.
Oh, you go.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about Quentin Dan in the music scene. I think he might be the GOAT, right? I don't know. Y'all got to tell me.
He probably is, honestly, because I don't know, man, because it's just magic. The way he plays is magic, honestly.
Wow. Well, I believe Quentin Dan was the musician who actually got to tour with Prince, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
That's amazing. We got to drop a bomb for that one, man. That's you're clapping. We clapping too. Absolutely. Yeah, Turks and Caicos Islanders being on a tour with somebody like Prince, it just shows you the talent we've always had in this country. And the only thing that we need is a bit of exposure.
Exactly.
And Kaylee, you've gotten that exposure, you know, being in England for 10 years. I gotta commend you. That's really phenomenal. And you took on a career path of music production, and you sticked for those 10 years. You could have gone Afro, beach, all sorts of directions in the UK. Underground music. You stuck with local music. Why?
That's what I got brought up on, honestly. Like because like I say, when I first picked up the guitar, I wanted to learn the rhythms of our music, and I just stuck to it. Because I'll be honest with you, it took me quite some time picking up the guitar to actually understand and learn how to play, how to hold chords, how to change chords, how to transition through notes and everything like that. It took me some time to do. So I guess just sticking with it, and when I finally get it, it's like, oh, I getting good at this. So how can I expand with that? And just kept developing my craft in that area. So it's just the deep admiration I have for our local music, because how I see it, most of our music is regional, because we share the same rhythms and everything with Bahamas. So it don't go far beyond our borders.
Right.
And me being from Turks and Caicos, I wear it on my arm. I got a Turks and Caicos tat. Like I can literally say I wear it on my sleeve. I wear home on my sleeve, like 100% Turks on. I can't deny it or anything. So carrying my culture with me, being in a place far from home, like I said before, I haven't been home for the last 2 years. I've been here for 10 years. You just got to keep it with you. And just remembering the legends we got home and trying to be like them and trying to explore different ideas based on what I've been hearing from them. That's what keep me grounded and wanting to be the next great Turks and Caicos guitarist or anything like that. Just a good musician in general, being from Turks and Caicos.
Now, Canberra, you've been in academia for quite some time, and you know the system here as well, you know, going to school here in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Based on your experiences in academia and your passion for music, how would you like the education department or even the Ministry of Education to adjust their curriculum or even change the curriculum to focus more on what you're doing right now, and that's preserving our culture through music?
One approach I'd like to see, academic-wise, I'd like to see, they really have to incorporate it more in the schools, like especially in primary level, because you got to get the kids into it. And I guess it's say in their development stages, because in your primary school, that's when, you know, you don't really hone into what you understand about yourself, and you're really into understanding different things that were going on in society. But if you could capture a few young people to get interested in in our culture from young, that can carry on basically short their life. Because if you capture them, you get them engaged into it, and you just keep them into the day, they can stick with them, they can stick to it. Because I look at it, there's a lot of young guys whom every time I post a video or something, I almost always getting followed by some of these young guys who, they want to learn the craft, they want to learn how to play instruments, or they're really playing an instrument, but they don't necessarily have somebody to teach them or direct them. So if we can incorporate some kind of music lessons or music classes from the primary level, just see how the kids engaging with it, and you could just capture those ones who really showing interest in it, and you just hone the craft from there. Another thing, we gotta find a way to instill national pride into ourselves and to our people as well, because the kids watching us, they watching what we do, and if they see us, they be being kind of nonchalant with our culture and things like that, then how we expect them to want to carry it on and want to emulate what they see. Because if we're not doing it, then how they can know how to carry it on? So that's we really gotta hone out on putting it together. I guess a national pride. We really gotta figure out how we could get it instilled into everyone's mind to set a better example for the youths. Because it starts from there. Because I sure people could tell you, people who grew up in Turks and Caicos, like most of the things you're learning and most of the ways you retaining knowledge, you learn in school. Because you may learn from your parents if they engage with you in certain areas. You may get it from your parents, but most of your time you're spending in education. You school, home, after school activities. We got to really find a way to incorporate those things in schools and stuff.
I agree, and I've seen a push recently in North Caicos with Alfred, what he's doing with the John Canoe guys.
Yeah.
I think we need to do more of that in all schools. We need an Alfred on every island, so that, well, not really John Canoe, because we would say our stuff is Ripsaw music, right?
Yeah.
So maybe having a Ripsaw into high competition, or even, a skull out competition. We can brand it however we want to brand it. But I agree with you. We have to start from the primary level. So, Kaylee, you been out there 10 years. You getting your ducks in a row to come home. I know this might be a question. You probably answer a lot these past 2 weeks, but I still gotta ask, what are your plans?
What are my plans? Well, obviously, it got to involve music. Like, I look at home as like kind of untapped market when it comes to like more the production side of our music, because we have people there who do production in our style of music, but it isn't on like a mass level. Because if you tend to look around things that happen in the island, like events and stuff, most of our musicians and stuff tend to perform. They're more performance based, so everything is based on live performance. So me, just graduating with a production degree, having the experience in studios and stuff like that, like I'd love to come home and start up a studio, or professional recording studio too, where we get musicians and stuff, and everybody, could get on board with that. Like, because we don't necessarily have a Turks and Caicos music industry, if you think about it. We have a musicians group or musicians association, I think is MOTAC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But we don't have like an industry. And the thing is, we so small, everybody knew each other. You can always call up somebody if you need something. But if we could put, not, I guess you could say industry, but we could have like our own production-based kind of thing in Turks. That's something I'd love to be a part of. If not I wouldn't say started, because we really got producers and stuff, but I'd love to have an area all musicians could come to if they want to record, you want to rehearse or something, you want to write something. You just got the idea, you want to get it, you want to record and build something on that, you got an area of space we could do that.
Absolutely.
So that's something that's part of my plans and coming back home. And just giving back to the youth as much as I can, in terms of if they want to learn something from me, if they see something that they doing that they want to learn, I open to teach that. I hoping to spread, pass on the knowledge of what I know.
No, man, you need to keep them TikTok videos coming because I'm pretty sure they're learning a lot from watching those videos. And like I say, you're definitely one of those persons that's keeping the culture alive. And you mentioned something. You mentioned music production. We don't have a lot of new songs coming out every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you that there has to be a revival or some sense of that. I think back in the 90s it was coming like this. Now it's on a decline. Based on your knowledge and your family history, why do you think music for the past decade has been on a decline, especially the production of local songs? I mean, you've seen in the Bahamas where Kino and Cass song went viral. But apart from that, why has our industry died down based on your understanding?
I'd say we tend to we focus in more on what's going on outside rather than inside, because we're looking at, in terms of proximity, very close to America. So some of our influences coming from there in terms of music. So we tend to think, all right, we got this Americanized idea of we got to do what they're doing, because we seeing success with the Black Americans and what they're doing. So we thinking, oh, we got to emulate that. I'm not saying don't do those kind of music, but we got something special with our own music.
Absolutely.
And I would say this too, there's not enough money behind it. Like there's not like an incentive outside of performing live. That's the kind of only exposure we get with our music. But how do I say this? Like, I wouldn't say it's a lack of cure. It's not like it's because I sure I said this before. Like our music kind of more regional in a way, so there isn't an appeal to do it to where you can reach a mass level of people.
Understand.
So we got to find a way to say, all right, cool. We got to keep the noise of the market and focus on what we could build for ourselves. You could you could look at the influences of the Americans, look at what they're doing, but how you can incorporate that into what you're doing for yourself and for your music. Because you got to think like this. You could be a leader or something of a big movement and pushing our music forward. Because you're always hearing in history of Turks and Caicos, you're always hearing about, especially with politics and stuff, you're always hearing about the people who led the way for us. We can have people doing the same thing with music for Turks and Caicos, for our kind of music, our style of music. So we got to find ways. I wouldn't necessarily say incentivize our musicians, but we got to find ways to look at it more for more than its entertainment value.
I love that. I think about soca music, right? And how it's taking over the Caribbean now, and how, every Caribbean country is booking a soca artist. But it had to start from somewhere, right? And I think we are due for a music explosion here. I mean, I would love to see a period of 3-5 years where it's just locals putting out music constantly and constantly, and we having competitions like the Battle of the Bands. That
Yeah.
has to come back. The
Yes, I
Battle of
agree.
the Bands has to come back, because now you're giving me something to work towards every year. A $10,000, $25,000 prize. I got the best song of the year. I gonna perform it. I'm gonna rock the crowd. We need the Battle of the Bands back, and on a massive scale. And that is what the music festival can actually be rooted in. I saw the music festival last year, and I had a minor involvement in it. But one of the critiques of that is that we didn't display our culture enough. As a matter of fact, we didn't display it at all at the music festival. Our music festival, the Turks and Caicos Music Festival, must be everything Turks and Caicos. And it must be where we battle it out.
I agree with that.
That's how we keep the culture alive. That's how we keep it going. And like you said, that's how you even gain international traction. Because now they know, oh wow, they have a battle of the bands. What type of band? What type of music? Let's check it out. But we gotta start somewhere. And that somewhere is actually loving ourselves. If we don't love ourselves, the world ain't gonna love us.
You're right. I agree.
The world ain't gonna love.
Right.
Now, I mean, you are very involved in the music industry. As far as you are involved because you putting out music, right? When you look at the industry right now, the current artists, is there anyone you would love to collaborate with? The current trending artists.
Oh, that's a very good question. If there's anyone I'd like to collaborate with, I probably see, that's the thing with me. I don't. It depends on which genre you're trying to look into, because I don't necessarily listen to hip hop and things like that. So
no, local. I ain't talking about them things. Local artists trending right now you would like to collaborate with?
People whom you met. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, we got Devontae Music. I'd like to do something with him.
Shout out to Devontae.
Shout out to Devontae. Yes. I haven't heard from Raj in a while. Raj the Entertainer. I'd love to do something with him. And Mr. Janet Spratt. John Kyle.
I saw him yesterday, man. I tell him he needs to come on the show.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see. Yo, he has to. You gotta get him on, man. Please.
I trying to. Some people be camera shy, but Miss Spratt, you are invited on Pushing Your Peers. I'm making it clear as this episode is airing on RTC. Yes, we want you on Pushing Your Peers podcast. You have so many great songs with great melodies. When we talk about persons who've made their contributions to keeping our culture alive, your name is definitely in that conversation.
I got one more person to mention too. I could mention almost everybody, but specifically these guys. Honestly, Mr. Elroy Simmons, that guy, that's the best voice in the world.
Man, let me tell you, Elroy bad. He Michael Jackson bad.
That guy dangerous.
Cambrell, thank you so much for, coming on the show and being so candid about your experiences, being in the UK for 10 years and coming back home. The next question I have for you is why? We go to the UK and I think you've been out there for so long, why now? Why do you want to move back home?
I want to move back because I moved at the age of 18. So I spent majority of my 20s over here. I'll be turning 28 next week. I spent majority of my 20s over here. And a lot changed home. A lot has happened over the last couple of years with music. Because you got like 3 or 4 bands show up in the last couple of years before I came back home. I can even tell you them guys on Provision. I started out with them because we had a group before Provision. It was Youth Vision. We just was getting started up, but I moved here, stayed longer than I should, and now Youth Vision is Provision. So yeah, I got.
So you would have been a Provision member?
Possibly, yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Say less.
So yeah, I want to come back because what I've learned, the experience I've gained in being over here. Because my time over here wasn't long term for me, I would say. It's always to come here, go to school, get my education. Typical, get your education, come back home and see what you could do to improve not only yourself, but improve your conditions at home as well. And I see music as a big part of my journey, and music as a big part of the journey of Turks and Caicos. It's entertainment, yes. But more important is our culture. And that's how we identify ourselves. That's what we got to hold on to. So
Absolutely.
my time here, I always tell people my time has expired. Because since I graduated, people keep asking me, "Oh, you moving back home? When you moving back home?" I'm not giving them an answer. When I go on, I go on. When I come, I come. When you see me, you see me. But when I think to come back home, just, there's a lot to be explored with the music home. There's a whole lot to be explored. And every day you see musicians pop up, especially some of the young guys, and they're very talented. But what more is there for them to do other than perform live? And that's why I say I want to come home and incorporate studio production in our music. Because you really need that. Because the talent, honestly, the talent there for it. The talent there. And if we could get that properly recorded and distributed, I can get too much behind the business of it. But if we get it properly recorded and distributed and get it out there, we could really shake things up with our music.
I love that. What I'm hearing from you is that you wanna grow the industry, but not only grow it, but revolutionize it. And I wish you all the best for that. You have my support any way, shape, form, or fashion. I asking you when you coming home. I just could see you out somewhere
When you
striking
see
up
me,
the
you see
court.
me.
You said I see you, right? Absolutely. No, but Kimbrel, thank you so much, man. I applaud you. Like I say, you're one of the pages I look forward to seeing content from on a regular. I might even use Copley instrumentals in some of my videos that I that I
Yeah,
put
you
out.
could. I might release something soon.
All
Soon,
right.
maybe.
All right. Say less. But it's inspiring because, it's only a small group of us that's really fighting to keep this culture alive. And I have to say you are a part of that small group. But don't watch the numbers. We are gonna grow. And it takes all of us supporting each
Mhm.
other any way, shape, form, or fashion. All right. Thank you so much, Cambrell. But we ain't done yet. You wouldn't be a guest on my show if you didn't get to push some piss. Are you ready? Any word or words that begins with the letter P that has been transformational to your journey, you now have a chance to push your piss.
All right. I'd say number one, first P, pride. You gotta be extremely proud to be a Turks and Caicos Islander. Very extremely proud. Obviously we in an independent nation, but being a Turks and Caicos Islander, growing up there, you understand what it is to be home, how things are home. We don't really make too much noise when it comes to things on the entertainment level. We want the best in tourism, but the potential there for us to be better in everything that we do and we engage in. And music is number one for me, obviously, but there's so much more we could do. There's a lot of talent in every area in Turks and Caicos. So the number one thing is you gotta have pride in being a Turks and Caicos Islander.
Man,
And have you choose to express that, just be positive with it. Just 100% Turks and Caicos behind it.
I can say this. That might be the best P I've heard. And this is episode 75 in total.
Wow.
That might be the best P I've heard. Hey! that gotta be the best P I've heard. No, Cambril, thank you so much. There's a young Cambril Kelly who just discovered that I want to do this music thing. What would be your advice to him?
The young Campbell? That's one of the things you tell yourself almost every day. Sometimes when I practice, I tell myself, be like, boy, you should have told myself when I was younger. But one piece of advice I give myself, I give my younger self. Like, focus on the fundamentals. Like, get to know exactly what it is that you're doing. Understand it as best as you could before you explore different ideas and things. But the number one thing is consistency, staying true to what you're doing, and always, put it first before anything you doubt, before you doubt yourself, just put what you're trying to do, put that before any doubt you place in yourself. Doubt shouldn't be part of what you're trying to do. Because I'm sure anybody can attest to, like, anytime you're trying to do something and you see somebody who may be doing what you want to do better than you, instant doubt kicking in, and negative self-talk. So
Absolutely.
you always got to put what you're focusing on, put that to the front. The doubt shouldn't be, it can be there, but you just got to let the thought pass through.
Absolutely.
So just stick to your goals. What the young people say, you got to lock in. So lock in on your goals.
You say young people like you ain't young.
Man, the ones who younger than me, they say that every day. You got to lock in, bro.
Nah, thank you so much, Cameron. Now you talked about Black Americans, right? Well, we know one of the driving force for Black Americans coming here. I could say one because might be a lot of other reasons, but one of the main ones is Drizzy Drake. Drizzy Drake. Let's say you get an opportunity to play for Drake. What local song are you teaching him word for word?
Well, he got to learn man of law. Either man of law or Leo Way. Gotta be.
Man of law.
Yeah. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if he didn't know it by now.
For sure. For sure. Hey, I would love to see Drake do Man of Law. I can tell you the lie. That's so fitting. That's so fitting. No, but Cambrell, ladies and gentlemen, we've had Cambrell Cayley on Pushing Your Peers podcast, an aspiring musician who recently graduated with his degree in music production, who's on his way back home. So if you are looking to work with Cambrell, please hit up his contact details in the link in the bio. He is ready to perform. He's ready to work with organizations to elevate their music performance and even produce things. So this is a young man who has a bright future ahead, and I couldn't miss this opportunity to bring him on the show. Any final words, Cambrell, before we wrap up?
Final words. I gotta say, this I've been seeing your podcast for a while. I really commend you on what you're doing, because it's really good to see that you're pushing this, and trust me, it's a huge benefit for us in Turks and Caicos. A huge benefit for us who living abroad at the moment, because it gives us an insight into how people thinking, what people ideas are. And you never know. That could be your solution right there, how you want to impact things going on. So I got to commend you for what you're doing. This is something really, really good and really interesting. I hope everybody can engage with you and engage in this.
Thank you, Cambrell, man. From your lips to God's ears, I always say, man, I appreciate that. And of course, you too, man. Continue putting out that content, continue elevating the culture. I know this is just the beginning for you.
Mm-hmm.
You got so much ahead of you, and I can't wait to be supporting you, my brother.
Thank you, Leo. You got my support 100% too, bro.
For sure, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Cambrell Cayley, please hit him up. Hit this boy up. He coming home soon. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next week on Pushing Your Peers podcast.